Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Sounds of the Valley, where, for the past 2 years, I've brought you the finest musical talent for the Chippewa Valley area. However, as no good thing can last forever, tonight's the night that my time with this show comes to a close. So to celebrate the end of a run that's been overrun with special episodes, I wanted to end off with one that's extra special. Because although I've been in every episode of this show since I started, I've gotten very little chance to talk about it from my own perspective. So tonight, I've brought on some faces from the studio to interview me and to have some time to reflect on sounds and the impact that it's had on us. Stay tuned after the intro. And welcome back. We're here with our first interviewer of the night, Maddox, an up-and-coming freshman who's been at almost every Sounds episode this semester, who's brought on a few questions about how Sounds works.
Yeah, I've seen you doing all of the very technical aspects of Sounds, and it's made me very curious, partly because it looks way too complicated to understand for anyone on the outside.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it almost looks impenetrable from the outside.
Oh yeah,
that's exactly how I felt when I first started.
Yeah, but I'll back it up a bit. So just to begin with, how or where do you find the artist for the show that you bring on?
Yeah, this was a big thing. A lot of it, well, it helps that Eau Claire is a very big and well-connected music city. There are a lot of artists around here who are very well connected with each other. Mm-hmm. There's just kind of a wide sphere, and the ways that I would kind of tap into that sphere was to the main one. There's an Eau Claire musicians Facebook group, which many of them just kind of hang out on, and so every beginning of most semesters, I would just send out a message to the void, like, hey, I host a show at the university. It's called Sounds of the Valley. Let me know if you'd be interested. And as I got more, that's how I started, especially. I would just do that at the beginning of each semester. But the longer it went on, I got more confident with my own role in the Eau Claire music sphere, whatever role in that I actually have. And so I would send out emails. I would research, artists around Eau Claire who hadn't been on the show, who I wanted, to make an appearance, and I would just reach out. Because the worst they can say is no.
True. Just out of curiosity, do you ever go to local music venues and then ask the artists in person there?
I've been to music venues specifically to scope out artists who maybe have wanted to be on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of intimidated by the idea of just straight up approaching them right after a show, like, hey, I'm with TV, come on to my show. So that's an approach I don't really gel with. I would just send an email after, like, hey, I was at this show that you played at this venue on this night, and I really liked your guys' vibe. I run this show. Let me know if you'd be interested. Something like that.
That definitely sounds a lot more manageable than just approaching them in person like that.
Yeah.
Regarding these artists, I know you said you would go to some of their shows, but what kind of research would you do on artists before having them on? Is it just going to their shows, or is it doing other things?
Sometimes. It can be going to their shows. It can be, a lot of them have recorded shows, on from recent festivals or something. So that's a good idea if they don't have any shows between when I discover them and when I would have them on. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a good resource. They'll almost always have a band social media. Otherwise, the members will each have their own. And so look at that. And then some of them have music on Spotify. There'll be music on streaming. So that's to get direct experience with the songs. That's a good way to do it. But especially for interview questions, social media is a very good resource because it can, if they've had anything big going on lately, some special event outside of a show, or some changing of the band structure or theme or whatever. Sometimes they'll change genres, and that's always a good topic to tap into. But yeah, it's check out the social media, check out the if they got any shows online. Yeah, just to make the rounds.
That makes some sense. So you've done a couple non-standard episodes. I know I've staffed one of them. I was there for your Halloween episode.
Halloween special.
It was very good. I love the costume. But what's kind of the process for putting together those non-standard episodes?
Yeah, the non-standard episodes were something that I really wanted to do going into Sounds, because I still appreciate an outlet for individuality in a show that's almost never about me. Case in point, this interview that we're doing right now.
Fair.
But the non-standard, it's usually just it's some like music topic I want to talk about. And that's pretty much what all the non-standard episodes are. It's just me talking about it. So I figure out the topic I want. It's usually some kind of deep dive in the case of the Halloween specials. And slap together a PowerPoint. You gotta love a PowerPoint. You might not have to have a PowerPoint, but I always have one because it's a great time. You gotta love having that like board that you can point at, like, hey, look at these people. I'm talking about them right now. That's called synergy. It's a lot of research. I don't actually know everything about music, and so I often have to, look things up and put things together, write a script. It's so fun to write scripts. I love script writing. If I didn't do sounds, which is very unscripted, at least as far as the interviews go, I would definitely do something like where I'd get the chance to do more script writing. So it's mostly that. Make the presentation, make the script, figure out how it's all going to go.
Definitely. Again, just out of curiosity, I was only around for one of your Halloween deep dives, obviously, but what's if you had to guess, or if you have to say right now, what was your favorite non-standard episode you did? Was it a certain Halloween special, or was it something else?
I did really love this last Halloween special that I did. That was about bad music. I was pretty proud of my script writing on that one.
Always fun to talk about.
Yeah. Other than that, I did this. It was totally a backup last spring, but I did one that was about album anniversaries. So I just sat down at the desk and had a big list of albums that were turning some important year in 2025, like 10 or 20 or 50. And I would just talk about it. It would show up. I would talk about it unscripted for several minutes. And all in total, it ended up just being 40 minutes of me talking about random albums. And it was such a great time. I love doing that.
Yeah, that's always fun. So going back to the actual practical aspects of sounds, what would you say? Again, all those setups look very intimidating and very hard, seeing you fiddle around with all the audio stuff. But what would you say is the hardest setup you had to do as a part of Sounds?
Oh, yeah, I got to dig deep for this one. This was back my freshman year, not my freshman, my first semester of hosting Sounds. I kind of consider it my Sounds freshman year. But I had a band on, the Driftless Revelers. Love those guys. They're awesome. But the instrumentation they had in here, oh Lord. It was two guitars, a bass, drums, a steel guitar, a banjo, a harmonica, a slide whistle, and a little mini toy organ. And they had all these things on tables. They were all stacked on top of each other. And I was like, because Nathan Blazer before me, he would buy his own audio equipment. It was just what he was into. So he owned his own mics and stands and everything. And cord, I had none of that. I had what we had in the studio, and we didn't have much. So I'm pretty sure what I ended up doing was ripping a shotgun mic from off a news camera and putting it I think I put that above the drums because we just had too many mics being used by other things. But that was I had Justin Narvis in there with me to help do the setup, and I don't think I would have survived besides that or without him.
Yikes.
So yeah, definitely that one.
How many people was this band if they had so many instruments?
It was 3. It was a trio.
And they just had that much?
They just had that much. They were fun-loving guys who, when they drive, they swerve all around the lanes without signaling.
I know the type. So regarding the future of Sounds, because we know that Sounds isn't coming back next semester, unfortunately, but say if someone were to pick it up in future semesters, what advice would you give this hypothetical future Sounds host?
Yeah. Sounds, the weird thing about Sounds is that it's both very structured, but you also have to be very vigilant because it works with outside artists all the time. It's, the crux of the show pretty much. So it's really, there's a dichotomy where you've got to plan way ahead So have it be structured, like have a structured plan, but then be ready for things to change, because things will change, people will cancel. Have backups ready. Backup, not really backup artists, but backup ideas.
Yeah.
Some of my non-standard episodes were, ones just that I just had in my back pocket, like if someone canceled. And yeah, just be vigilant, never be afraid to reach out. It's always better to send a follow-up than to like just be stuck wondering. Yeah, communication is really key. We rely very, very much on communication with the artist. So yeah, just keep that flow of communication going and be ready for things to change.
Definitely, yeah. Was that spring episode you mentioned, was that one of your like backups?
That's right.
Okay, I see. I think that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you very much for...
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me. And I've only been on TV10 for this past semester because I'm a freshman, but I've definitely enjoyed working sounds a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thank you for having me and having me as a part of your crew for that as well.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Of course.
It's always, it's a good feeling to see new faces still be excited about sounds. But yeah, I guess with that, that'll wrap up our first interview. So stay tuned after the break and we'll have our next interviewer in the building. We have our second interviewer here, Abe, well known for being the host of Handful and a former BNN reporter. So
yeah, leave out the game show, I guess.
And game show too. And game show too, I suppose.
Well, that's a background we both have in common. We both started on TV10 with BNN, didn't we?
That's exactly true. Yeah, it's a good. I'm like, in hindsight, I'm a little bit middling on the time that I spent being a reporter on BNN, but I do think it was a really good entry point to being in the org. It was a good. I got to spend a lot of time with Alex Rubio.
Our goat, Alex Rubio.
Our goat, yeah. May he rest in peace in the city that he's in right now, which is not Eau Claire. No, yeah, being a BNN reporter, it's like, yeah, it's a great introduction to like the technical side, which definitely helped me a lot when I was becoming sounds host. But yeah, it's a common theme, I feel like, BNN reporter to show host.
Yeah, no, that's happened a lot. But how long were you BNN for? Random question. How long?
Semester.
One semester. And from there, you made the jump to
yeah.
sounds.
I joined spring of 23, was a BNN reporter then, and then in fall of 2023, I became sounds host.
Okay.
So.
And speaking of that, what made you want to be like, you know what? I want to become the host for Sounds of the Valley. What gave you like that?
It was probably. You're good. It was probably the first time I was at Sounds. Nathan was hosting. There was some band in the studio, and I was like, wow, there's a band in the studio. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But obviously, like, it's so complicated. I would never have a chance of doing it, like, actually being able to put it together. And then I was at the All-Nighter with Nathan Blazer, spring of 2023, and he said no. He pulled me aside. He said, Evan, you have what it takes. And so I was like, okay. So I applied. And I got it, and I just started slowly learning it. But yeah, it was really just, I love music, you know this.
Yeah.
I'm a big music guy, and I knew Eau Claire had a really cool music scene, and it seemed like such a good, not really a crossroad, such a good crossing of values, I guess. And it was like the perfect opportunity, and I was like, I want to do this, and now I actually believe that I can.
Yeah, well, I believe you've done a great job. I mean, you've been a show host since I joined TV10.
Yeah.
My freshman semester, you were already the Sounds of the Valley show host, like Nathan was already gone and all that. So I've only known you the sounds guy, which is really weird to think of you as like something past that. But yeah, how did you first feel when you first became show host?
Oh, God. Overwhelmed. It's complicated from the outside in, and it was also complicated from the inside. And there was a lot to remember. I felt there was a huge amount of imposter syndrome because Nathan Blazer hosted Sounds for, I believe, 4 years, which is like twice as long as I have. And so he knew Sounds like the back of it, like it was an extension of himself. And to step into that, I was like, wow, what am I even doing here, you know? So it was like, it was really a feeling of like, I'm a fraud. The first artist I have on Sounds is gonna point at me and scream, you're a hack fraud, I'm leaving. That never happened though, surprisingly.
I'm sure it did.
No.
You're amazing.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome, like it's very much like Nathan very much did leave like big shoes to fill, was how it felt. That never really went away, even as I got more confident with the audio, like all the setup and all the interviewing and everything. But yeah, but as it went on, I got good feedback from people, and that's what convinced me that like I might feel like I don't know what's going on, but I might actually have an idea.
And I feel like you've really grown upon that because, I mean, you're the most experienced show host out of the current 6 shows on TV10. You're
yeah.
the most experienced one. And I know it's a huge throwback, but do you remember like your first episode? Do you remember how that was, like making that first episode of Sounds Ever?
Oh wow, my first episode ever. I had Chloe Sawal, solo guitarist. It was actually really smooth. She was really nice. It was a really easy setup. So yeah, that one it kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. It started like building the confidence. But if we want to really reach back, the very first time I was like in a Sounds host of any capacity like position was Nathan Blazer's second to last episode in spring of 23. He had me on as a co-interviewer for the artists that he had that week, and oh my god, that was such an awkward interview. I was super I was quiet, didn't really know how to respond or like work off any of the answers that they gave. So it was really don't watch it. I'm just gonna say that right now. Don't.
We're gonna have to look in the archive to look at.
You don't have to do anything.
We'll think on that one. But yeah, like you said, you've done this for 2 years. What improvement? What aspects of making the show do you feel have improved the most over time, over these past couple of semesters that you've been the Sounds of the Valley host?
Yeah, it's definitely like as I just said, it's definitely the interviewing. That first interview I did with Nathan Blazer was super awkward, but then it progressively got less and less awkward as I got used to being up here, got used to like the general questions that I would ask, the usual answers that they would have, just kind of learning the ropes, and then I could like play off of them better and have a better idea of where might be a good place to take the interview, or if things get out of hand, how to de-escalate them, just in terms of like making sure things don't I don't know. You get what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure.
I get what you mean.
That's always how it is with having guests in the studio. But
having a guest in the studio, it's always
yeah,
a lot can happen. So
a lot can happen. So yeah, but it's weird because again, this also goes with the imposter syndrome I was talking about. I didn't really feel. I felt like I was maybe getting a little bit better at interviewing, but then when I went back and I watched my old interviews after doing it for like a year or longer, I was like, oh my god, how did anyone take me seriously? How did anyone, actually take these stupid questions at face value? So yeah, that's easily what I've gotten better at the most.
I get what you mean. Imposter syndrome, especially with a show host, can really hit you hard. But it's nice to see like how much you've improved on at the end of the day, because obviously you're not going to be the same show host that you were 2 years ago. So
of course,
even though as cringe as it may be looking back at that, it's still really it's nice to see like that improvement you've made, all those footsteps that you've made over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I remember you touched a little upon like those episodes where you don't have a band and it's you talking about something else. But do you have like a favorite memory with Sounds? Is there something that really sticks out of that?
Let's see. I'm not going to pick favorites out of the artists I've had because there's so many of them were amazing. Now it'd really be like, it would be narrowing down. Imagine picking between like your 30 children, a favorite. That's a weird analogy. I feel like picking a favorite child is an analogy that a lot of people use, but it's not usually, I don't know. Not usually in the context that I just used it. Whatever, not important. I'm gonna be honest. I really, really enjoyed the like our albums of the year episode where you, me, and Sam were at the desk. That was such a great time. The vibes were on point in the studio. Great memory for sure. Other than that, Sounds karaoke. This is That's those episodes never leave the archive, but they're always great because people, it's just where people are always excited to be there, and that's a good thing about Sounds is that people are always excited to be at Sounds. It's great. It's like they say in The Bear, every day is the Super Bowl. But anyway, yeah, it's probably that or Sounds Karaoke or a bunch of the non-standard episodes I've done, but especially that one with from this year.
So would you say that's your favorite non-standard episode, or no, the us three talking about our favorite albums of the year?
It's my favorite non-standard episode, like in terms of the complete product, would probably be the unscripted, like me talking about albums for 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I remember you talking about that.
But in terms of experience in the studio, I think Sounds Karaoke or the one that was us three at the desk.
Oh, yeah, because like you said, those never leave the archive. But as someone that has, I think I was only able to make it to one of them because they were always at a weird time for me.
Yeah.
But you can see, like you said, how excited people are to be in there, especially for karaoke. It's always just a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you, at the end of the day, like you said, this is the last episode. Sounds of the Valley is not returning let me try that again. Sounds of the Valley is not returning next semester. How do you feel about it not continuing? Because it's like your child.
I was straight up just gonna say like I'm fine with it, but I feel like I should probably elaborate on that. Sounds, I feel like Sounds very much like it's never going to lose the potential to come back because Sounds, it's such an exciting like concept for a show. I think the fact that it's gone on as long as it has is awesome, and for it, the idea of it like continuing would also be awesome. But like at the end of the day, it's a good body of work, and then there's always the opportunity for down the line somebody who's really excited about it to pick it back up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because if we had to keep the shows going just to keep the shows going, there's always the chance that the show might get passed off to someone who doesn't really care about it but feels obligated, and that just wouldn't be as good.
So you'd rather just have the show like not return, keep it under the radar, until someone that's absolutely passionate about Sounds, wanting to bring it back, comes into the studio and takes.
That's exactly right. That passion has to be the key. They have to be excited about Sounds because that's how the best TV gets made. Yeah,
that's exactly how I see it too. Yeah. Well, I think those are all the questions that I have for you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on and asking them.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me once again. From show host to show host, like I understand.
From show host to show host.
I understand how you're feeling, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't on Sounds of the Valley a lot, but you did a great job with it, and I always love pulling it up every time that I did, and every time you would have me just talking about it. So it's also sad for me seeing it go.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. But either way, yeah, I really appreciate it, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and since that closes out our second interview, we got one more right after this break. We're here with our last interviewer of the night, creative director Sam. How are you doing tonight?
Doing swell.
Good.
Maybe not as swell with the snow, but as swell as I can be.
It's all right. I do appreciate everyone making their way through the snow, through the trenches, to come to the studio and make the show happen. Great times.
It is. It's a real great time. Speaking of great times, do you mind if I just get right into it?
Yeah, go for it.
We know you as Evan Sounds.
Yeah, that did happen.
You're a big character among the tenors, Evan Sounds. But at one point, you were just Evan Klamar.
I was.
TV 10.
I'll do you one better. I was just Evan.
You were just Evan?
There was only one Evan in the org at that time.
Oh, isn't
that wild?
Yeah, that's a flex.
There was one Evan.
That. So you were just Evan at that time.
I was just Evan.
Just a young TV tenor. But what made you want to join the org in the first place when you were such a little guy?
When I was such a little guy, I was really, because in high school there was like there wasn't anything like this, like the idea. Because I had heard, my friend's sister did radio in Madison, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. She's got her own radio show. And so I was really looking forward to, like, in Eau Claire, something along those lines, where it could be some kind of creative, like, production type thing, where I could come and create something, and then at the end of it, have a body of work to look back on, And the community of it, too. Okay, I'll back up a little bit. I went to Bob my freshman year, fall. I was walking around the tables, and I got stopped by, I believe, might have been Oscar or Joel. I don't know. I don't know who was running the tables at that point. Maybe it was neither of them. But
I have no idea who these people are, but I believe you.
You're good. These are names from TV10 past. They're like, I think there might be one person in the studio who even knows who they are. Anyway, what's important is that I got stopped while I was walking. They were like, hey, you like TV? And I was like, sure, I like TV. They were like, we got a TV station right here. And I was like, oh, this is exactly what I've been looking for. However, because I was a new freshman at Bob, I also signed up for Blue Gold Radio Sunday and Spectator and the Climbing Club and just about pretty much everything.
It's a real
Just sign up-
smorgasbord.
A real smorgasbord. And, and all those mailing lists, TV10 just kind of got lost in the fold, and my chance got passed up. But then I was also in B&B that fall, so that took up a big chunk of my time. But then it was spring. And there wasn't, I didn't have that going on, and I was like, you know what? A good time to enter the sphere.
Yeah.
So I came to TV10, and yeah,
The rest is history.
the rest
Now
was
you're-
history. I met
now you're Evan Sounds.
Alex Rubio there,
Fire.
and that's how I became a BNN reporter. I was just taken aback by his charm, and I was like, I'm gonna write news stories now.
Yeah. And now you kind of do the same thing, kind of like you
A
do
little bit. It's similar, yeah.
interviews, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Some new stuff, albums. You talked about with Abe the album episode.
Yeah.
What a hoot that was.
What a delight.
I think you do a very great job taking what you learned from BNN and applying it to the show, like the interview
Thank you.
questions, things of that nature.
Yeah. I don't really think about it that much as being a straight line from BNN to this, but there really is a lot of similarity.
Yeah. Well, speaking of other TV10 endeavors.
Yeah.
Well, what's special about Sounds? That these other shows like BNN don't have. What makes Sounds stand out?
Yeah. The thing about a lot of the shows here, they tend to be a little bit insular with the studio, which is not a bad thing. The studio is an amazing community, and it's always great to spend time here, But Sounds is kind of like, it's an opportunity for like more outreach in the community, like, make connections with like the music scene in Eau Claire, outside artists, bring them into the studio. And so it's a little bit of a way to like get word about TV10 out, but then also to like bring the rest of the city to us.
Yeah.
And that's something that's like more difficult for a lot of the other shows to do, because like Game Show and BNN do have guests and like do talk about things that are going on wider in Eau Claire, but it's the crux of Sounds.
You're right.
Is that we get people from all around the Chippewa Valley area and bring them in the studio.
Yeah, I think it's real cool that you can just like majority. I'll say every week that like every show you have somebody new. Like there's always someone that's looking forward to be on the show,
Yeah.
And I think that's such a flex to have like in the community, like something so sought after, But
Yeah.
it's real cool, man. But the studio.
This studio.
Are you gonna miss it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, 2 years of your life were.
I mean, I also spent the past 2 years of my life in places that weren't the studio. But yeah, no, it's very much like any room that you're in enough to the point that it starts appearing in your dreams.
Yeah.
Like it's got a permanent imprint on you,
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna forget the studio.
Right.
It's
Well,
gonna be around.
do you have any hopes or dreams, aspirations even, that the studio will improve? Like, do you have anything that you wish will take that next leap?
Yeah, we're a lot of it for the sake of anyone who might pick up Sounds in the future. More audio equipment would be great. Better mic stands. Otherwise, in the terms of just aesthetics, maybe like I'd love to see a studio, like a TV10 studio that's got different lights
Yeah.
than just like the overhead. Maybe one where we got like multicolor or like gels that you can put on the lights, so you can
Love
get
some
like
gels.
colored spotlights.
Yeah.
Maybe one where you can have like just the background and not the overhead lights, so you get like this cool like backlighting effect.
That'd be
I don't
fire.
know. These are all like ideas that I've had for the show, and I asked someone who knew about the lights, and they're like, no, we can't do that. It's a pretty rigid lighting system that we got, but it does its job admirably.
Yeah,
But one day, the studio might get to the point where it can perform more jobs equally as admirably.
yeah. I think that would be probably like up there, like top 3. Just dreams and aspirations right there.
Yeah, for the studio or just in general.
I'm not me personally. I'd say for the studio, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be
I'd say the same
mad if
thing.
someone said like, my biggest dream in the world is some new lights in TV10. You know, like
Yeah, and TV10.
all to you. That's all to you. But speaking of the future, TV10, there's a lot of tradition in
Yeah.
TV10. There's a lot of calls back to the past, a lot of things to look forward to. But is there anything that from your time that you hope future tenors will continue to do or like carry on, make something even more?
Yeah, this is very much more of a vibes-based thing, but the feeling of community here is unmatched, I think, by any other student Oregon campus. It's such a cozy group of people here. It's great. Maybe cozy's the wrong word. I'm getting some weird looks from the control room.
I can see what you mean though. Like it's a very
Yeah, it's very welcoming, I
Yeah.
will say. I spent a lot of time my freshman year being in much more cliquey groups than this. And so when I got here, and Alex Rubio was here, who was super welcoming, and just the feeling of being like in this place, which was so much more like welcoming, open, non-exclusionary. It was great. It was seriously like a massive breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And so that's a major thing that I hope the future of TV10 keeps up. You know.
just like a nice, good vibes, you know.
Yeah. It's one that feels like relatively non-hierarchical. You know.
Yeah.
Because we do have like, there are show hosts and directors and all that, but we're compared to like other orgs, we're more homies
Yeah.
than we are superiors and like subordinates,
Yeah, it's just bros being bros.
We're not a company, we're a family. But no, definitely that feeling of community.
Yeah.
In terms of like more like standard traditions, definitely the all-nighter. The door that's got all of our names on it. Eventually, one day there might run out of space for names on that door.
That'd be a good day. Like,
That would be a good day, but then they're gonna have to figure out what else to like how to continue it.
well, there's a whole nother side of the door.
Wait, I didn't even think about that. We got 2 sides to
There's
that door.
2
Okay.
doors, so I think we got room to spare for at least
true.
at least 5 years.
Yeah, so that's definitely a thing that I hope continues. Battle chairs too.
Battle chairs, love battle
The
chairs.
retreats. There are so many good traditions in this org, I will say.
Do you have an absolute favorite tradition?
Oh,
Like something that, like, if you could, out of all the TV10 traditions, like something that would make TV10 what it is?
wow, that's a big question. It might be the spring retreat where
Yeah.
when we make the videos. Honestly, God, what a good time.
Those are always
What a good
fun.
time. That's what TV10 feels like to me. You get a group with your homies, and you make a little movie.
Yeah,
You
just
do some movie magic.
homies making art.
Exactly.
Art might be a stretch, but
Art is not a stretch. Art is not a stretch. It might not be high art, but it is art.
it's art nonetheless. I agree. Well, overall, is there anything that you will miss the most? now that
Yeah,
you're done?
it feels like a cop out to have a repeat answer, but the community,
Yeah.
all the feeling of being in this studio every week. Maybe not quite every week. I did have a bi-weekly show, but we got the meetings too.
Yeah, you can
The feeling of being in the studio with everyone.
part of your
it's so-
schedule.
Yeah, it's a uniquely great feeling to just like have this group here as like pretty much a constant, like you know what to expect, you know who to expect, and you know that it'll be absolute vibes.
Yeah.
So no, it's great. I've made lifelong friendships, I hope, at the studio.
That's lovely to hear. I love that. Well, I mean, I know you'll miss the community. The community will miss you. I mean, what's going to happen spring? No more Evan sounds.
It's true, no more Evan sounds. There are 2 other Evans who can take up the mantle of Evan.
True.
But no more Evan sounds.
No more Evan sounds right now.
Right now, as of right now, maybe
As I said, 2027 comes around.
there's another Evan who just so happens to be really into the idea of sounds.
Yeah, you
It could
never know.
happen. Stranger things have happened.
That's right. That's right. But I think that's all I got for you today.
Okay.
So I thank you for letting me on.
Yeah, thank you very much for
You're
being
welcome.
on. Always a great time.
Big blessings, my brother.
Big blessings.
Do I leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with that, I want to take some time to give some special thanks. But I'm gonna make a more comfortable arrangement first. So, stay tuned. Before we close things out for the night, I wanted to take some time to give thanks to everyone whose sounds couldn't have existed without. Thank you to everyone at the studio who's been part of the crew, whether it was for one night or for many. Thank you to Haley Schreiber, Addison Dayton, Justin Narvison, David Abel, and Lee Quinnett for directing, editing, and overall keeping the show afloat. Thank you to all the amazing artists who have taken the time to bring their talents to our studio. Chloe Sawal, Andy Hansen, Matt, Ben, and Jared from the Driftless Revelers, Jack, Tyler, and Adam from the Blue Ox Jazz Trio, Jim Nelson, Adam, Beata, Heidi, Patty, and Michael from the What Have Yous, Todd Adams, Angie Sutliff, Simon, Mason, and Jared from Homestretch, David, Addie, Vaughn, and Craig from Crimson Theory, Ethan, JJ, Clayton, Cam, and Scott from Public Meltdown, Godwin, Sam, Hunter, and Shepard from the Doghouse, MK, Eric, Phil, and Caleb from Wasp Doctor, Michael and Dean from the Shillelagh Lads, Andrew Much, Joe Grell, Aaron Shy, M, Ryan, K-Man, and Max from Valley Kill, Crystal, Hannah, Rob, and Jim from Gossip Bench, Alyssa, Adam, Cody, and Andrew from Mars, and Emily and Dustin from the Double Stops. Thank you to Nathan Blazer, who almost 3 years ago believed in me enough to hand me the keys to this show. And most importantly, thank you to all of you for tuning in to Sounds of the Valley. Make sure to check out our other content at mytv10.uwec.edu or on our YouTube channel, UWEC TV10. As always, I've been your host, Evan Klamar, wishing you for one final time a good night, y'all. Thank you for having me.